Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fight to Unite podcast. My name is Aaliyah Freeman, and as you already know, I am your host. I'm so excited to be with you guys today. It's been a few weeks since I've had my latest podcast, so I'm definitely excited to be here and chat a little bit with you guys today. As we talk about today's topic, is going to be called Don't Run from Your Promise. That's right. Don't run from your promise. So I've been definitely recognizing the time and the season that we're in, for some of us. And if this is message is definitely something that you can relate to, if you're in a season of pursuing your promise or trying to get to the very thing that you know God have calling you to do, I want you to tune into this message. We're going to talk a little bit about what causes us to run, and also too how we can stop that chase when we want to pull away from the thing that God is calling us to do. So first of all, let's recognize what our promise is. Most of the time, the thing that God is calling us to do is it's a blessing. It's some form of inheritance. It's like the next level. Some of you may notice that it's coming with a lot of challenges. One thing that the promise does do is it challenges you to grow. And that growth process is not always easy. And one thing about it, it does not happen overnight. So you're going to go through an actual active pursuit of you constantly taking on challenges that are going to challenge the way you think, maybe challenge your day to day, change your routine, whatever it is that you have to do to make sure that you can show up and own the promise that God has given you. So, first off, I want to say no matter what it is that you face as you are walking towards your promise or becoming, I do not want you to stop. If you got to take a break, if you got to journal, if you got to pray, if you got to breathe, whatever it is that you got to do, the first thing I want you to do is to not quit. You can take a break, but do not quit. Okay? Because when you quit, what you are saying is that you allow the enemy to have full control to take the blessing that God wants to give you. And he doesn't even deserve that right. He doesn't even deserve that to even be able to take that very thing that God has promised you. So that's number one thing I want you to always remember when you feel like you want to give up and stop, is that the devil don't even deserve what I want to give away. Okay? So let's talk about what causes us to run. So the number one top thing that I recognize that causes us to run is intimidation. A lot of the times when we are intimidated about the thing that God has given us or that He wants to give us in the form of a promise, is sometimes we are intimidated by that thing. We may think, our insecurities can add up and think that we're not even capable of receiving this thing, or maybe we don't even think that our life matches up to it. All of these things are so common. Most of the time, your life is not going to add up to it because as you receive this thing and you become, one thing it's going to do is transform your life. There is a there is a person there is something inside of you that has to become in order for you to receive. So that is why a lot of times intimidation can get in the way because we don't even see ourselves being able to be blessed with this thing. Okay? So, how do you break through intimidation? It's a big common question that you have to ask. It's a question that you need to ask yourself in order to break through intimidation so that you don't get stuck. Number one reason why we have intimidation is due to lack of faith or lack of knowledge. You are intimidated by the promise because you either don't believe that you can have it, or you don't quite understand the promise, or you don't understand something, and that causes you to quit. So I share an encouragement to know that if you continue to actively activate your faith and believe you can. And if you study, if you learn, if you develop a habit of seeking knowledge about the thing that you are pursuing, I guarantee you, you will find yourself building strength to be able to put one foot in front of the other. What you don't know, you can't understand. So it's like if you don't understand something, I believe that you have to position yourself around the right people or maybe the right resources so that you can actually gain a better understanding. Okay? It is said that we fail due to a lack of knowledge. So if it's something that you have to actually do in order for the promise to be fulfilled, to come to pass, if you're not if you don't understand that thing and you ask God to help you, and say, okay, God, what is it that I'm not doing? What is it that I should be doing? Having those small conversations, God will be able to highlight things in your life or show you direction or give you instruction that will allow you to be able to take those steps so that you can get to the next step that leads to the big thing. But one thing about getting to the promise is nothing but a whole bunch of small steps that lead you to the big thing. I know we think that this happened overnight and then we wake up and we're here, but it's not. It's small steps that lead to big action. Okay? Another thing is not knowing your value. When you clearly understand who you are in God, you will understand why you have the right to receive the fullness of God's promise for your life. As a son or a daughter of the Most High, you have a promise. He has given us these things from the time we were born in our mother's womb. There was a promise set out for your life. And we have to recognize the depth of the weight of that value. That thing that you have, that desire that you have in your heart to do, whatever it is that you're going after or you trying to position yourself for, God didn't just place that desire there today. He had already had that in the plan of your life from the time you were in your mother's womb. So you gotta know and understand that there is a new me that has to become in order to receive the fullness of God's promise for my life. If you don't know, if you don't know or understand the weight of your own value, this means that now you have to turn to your creator, the person who created you. You have to seek and gain understanding and perspective about how he sees you and not how you see yourself in the mirror. Because the way you see yourself in the mirror may not be all of the right thoughts that can empower you to be able to believe that you are who God says you are. As God gives you clarity about who you are, he'll start giving you words. He'll tell you, you're strong, you're courageous, you're bold, you're fearless. He'll tell you all of these things about who you are. I think it's so important that you write those things down, that you put them in your face every day, and that you speak them over your life. In order to be a person of wealth, start telling yourself, I am a person of wealth. I am a person of wisdom. I am someone, I am trustworthy. I am knowledgeable. I am profitable. All of these things. I am fearful. I am fearless. You want to make sure that you are saying all of these things over your life until you start to believe them. The more you speak them over your life, do you know you are speaking power over your life? You're speaking life over your own life. You have to become because you are speaking life over you. So, how you break through intimidation. This is how you be able to now take off the shutters that are on your on your eyes about who God said you are for yourself. And the more and more you start activating your faith and believing that you are capable to handle the responsibilities that comes with the promise, the more you start owning who God is calling you to be. Another thing is fear. It is definitely the sister to intimidation. When we are afraid of something, we will shut down. We don't believe. Also, too, I want you to know it is a sacrifice. The sacrifice can cause us to run. If God is telling you to stop doing something in order for you to pursue the fullness of this promise, then that means you have to let go and you're going to have to sacrifice without that thing so that you can actually get to where you need to be. That could be a cause to your run. Maybe you're wondering how you're going to be able to make it without doing such a thing. Or how are you going to, you know, maybe you're trying to figure out, you know, am I going to be okay when I let this go? Yes, you will. You may not may go back and forth a bit in the beginning when you first let it go, but it's okay. You have to constantly remind yourself, I'm letting go because when you let go, you are making room for what's coming. Another thing that causes people to run is defeat. Are you defeated? Did you reach something, a challenge or something that maybe you've hit like some type of roadblock and you feel defeated? If this is the case, let God in. Let Him know. This is hard. This is challenging. I feel defeated. I feel like I can't win. But then, once you've acknowledged where you are, I want you to also bring into remembrance of what God said. He is he is the author of he is not the author of confusion. So you want to let him in. If you feel defeated, you feel confused about what you have going on, let him in and he will shed light on your situation. He will direct you. He will give you instructions. He will give you strength to continue to endure. One scripture that definitely helps with those who may be defeated is to remember that God says, Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. That means God will hold your hand every single step of the way. He won't leave you because things got hard. He won't leave you even when it's easy. He's with you every single step of the way. Know that He will strengthen you when things get hard. So you didn't reach this hardship because He wanted you to quit. You reached this hardship because God want to show you how much He have on the inside of you. Hardships only come because God wants to unlock new levels of us. So there's a new level of you that you have never recognized or never even knew until you reach a hardship. Then that's when you recognize I can overcome this after all. So this is how you grow from different level to different levels in your life. Another thing I want you to do is remember the only thing or person that we should ever fear is God. Never be afraid of someone or never be afraid of something because there is nothing here on this earth that is bigger, powerful than the God that we serve. So there's no need to be afraid. You can give your fears and your worries and anxiety to Him, cast them upon to Him, and He'll help you with those things. He'll give you peace amongst them, and He'll also show you the way. He'll fight battles on your behalf that you can't seem to fight. All right, so now that we've gotten all of that out of the way about what causes us to run, I want to talk about how we're going to overcome these. How do we overcome these? Okay. First and foremost, I am learning to appreciate and be thankful for the hardship. Why? Because every hardship is it comes in your life and it causes you to seek out the things that you never thought that you needed to know. It became hard because now you got to figure out how to overcome it. And then that's how you build wisdom. That's how you gain new knowledge and new understanding by facing hardship. So when things get hard, I started saying, God, I thank you for this thing that is hard because it's challenging me to become a better and greater person. Believe you can and know you can. So even though this is hard, believe that you can get to the end of it. Believe that there's a greater side on the other side of your situation. And then also too, I want you to get up and take the challenge. Don't get stuck in defeat. Take the challenge. Like I said, take a break. If you got to take a break for a couple of hours and sit in your emotions, okay, I'm not going to tell you not to feel, but I want to tell you don't stay there and don't stay there too long. You got to know that this challenge came because there's a greater you that needs to be unlocked in the inside. Okay? So, and next up is identify the positive. What are the positive things about your situation? This is what helps you come out of your emotion. This have happened to me, for me. So now I want you to take your positive. What are the positive things about this situation? Because I guarantee you, no matter how bad a situation is, there are always some type of positive on the other side. When you actually sit down and really look at your situation, there are positives in every situation, just as much as there are negative. So, the things that are positive, I want you to identify what they are and stay focused on those because that is what's going to bring encouragement for you to know that it's really not that bad. And then next, I want you to list the negative. What are the negatives about your situation? What are the negatives about what it is that you're pursuing? Pray for those things because most of the time the negatives are things that you cannot change. Or maybe they are things that can be changed, but there's something else that you have to do. If it's something that you cannot change, those are the things that you have to put into the Lord's hand and He will give you peace about because He knows how to handle all of our problems better than we do. So you gain peace about those things. Not saying that it's still not negative, but you now know that it's in the hands of a higher power that can take control of what it is that you need. So in the midst of these things, I want you to know that after all the things that we have talked about and discussed, one thing that I want you to know, the more you actively pursue the promise, the stronger you will become. You will unlock new strengths and wisdom as you continue to pursue. And I want you to know, as you continue to give God your problems, your situations, your all of the things that you are dealing with as you are pursuing, God put the right people in your life that will help you and support you in your transition of becoming. Because the whole key to getting the promise is not more so about the promise, it's who you become to get to the promise. He is so strategic. Y'all, one thing I know is that God cares more about our preparation more than He cares about giving us the promise. Don't get me wrong, He wants to give us the promise, but He's also more so focus on our preparation. That's why he's willing to process you as long as he needs to process you, just so that you can be able to withhold the process, the promise. You ever gave someone a gift? You ever had to give your child a gift and you knew you wanted to give them something, but then you think about, should I give this child this gift at this age, or should I wait until they turn a certain age? Because I'm not sure if they're going to be mature enough to handle this gift yet. Maybe it's a cell phone. Your child's been asking for a cell phone since the age of 8, but you know they may not be able to be mature enough to even handle that cell phone. So you might say, I'm going to withhold your cell phone until they turn about 13. Then I can at least trust them a bit with this cell phone because I know that they'll be able to handle the do's and don'ts that come with this cell phone. So I don't know about y'all, but if I promise my goddaughter something like that, then she'll be doing any and everything that she can do of trying to get her character right, trying to make sure that she's trustworthy all the way up until that age so that she can say, okay, I'm ready to receive my promise when the age 13 comes. That's just how God is with us. He's not going to give us anything too sooner than what it needs to be done, and He's not going to give it to us too late. But He is so strategic about what He places on our path to position us so that we can be ready for the promise. Okay, guys, I gotta tell y'all that I'm completely full. And if you're on a path or a journey just like me, well, we all should be on our journey to the promise. I wanted to just connect with you guys to let you know. I totally know what those obstacles are that we continue to face. And I want you to know that you can do it. Be encouraged to know that you can do it. You can do whatever it takes and overcome anything that you are facing right now, and you can make it to the promise. Do not run from your promise.